No.
What difference does it make? Never mind. I'm going to get it. Never mind.
You're in trouble. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I guess the first question would be, how did you approach Janeway's transition from being a captain mentor to just a mentor?
It took some adjusting, of course. It's a hologram we're talking about.
Correct.
So the challenge was, how do I endow this hologram with interesting traits without making her sort of I don't know, a cardboard copy of what once was. So I very slowly but subtly tried to place humor, warmth, even some degree of discernment. She likes some, she doesn't really trust others, opinions, and I've developed that slowly. But I've tried to ground her on she gets this barometer, hologram Janeway. Vice Admiral gets this. So I just run the gamut when I'm given that shot. And often I have scenes where they're back to back. So I get to switch on and switch off, which is really challenging and really fun. Hologram Janeway is a little lighter in tone, so that the children are listening to me with a certain degree of comfort, because I think if you deepen it and you go to the Admiral, you're going to turn them off, right? But if you lighten it, even in your command, and say, you do that again, you're going to pay a price for that. They'll so I have to do this all according to what's going on in my own imagination, but it's fun. You'd be surprised at the freedom in the booth. It's a lot of freedom. Yeah.
So is there a moment coming up in the second half of the season that was really gratifying to voice act? Is there something that you're really proud of that you were able to bring to life?
Well, I think that's a spoiler if I can say it. But let me just suggest this. There are several iterations of Janeway, and some of them are shocking and dark and unexpected. And then the journey takes a harrowing turn. And that was really fun. Okay?
Yeah.
Is that good enough?
It's perfect, thank you.
I'm hiding behind Murph every time.
I mean, do you get to take Murph home?
I'm taking my Murph. You get your own Murph, don't you?
Yeah, put it away.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So, what was it like working with Robert Beltran again? Were you able to record?
But I didn't work with him.
Oh, you get to record in the room?
Yeah, but not with him. No. I don't even hear his voice.
Oh, no. Oh.
No, it's just line, and then I do mine, and mine. So, I haven't seen it. And one can only hope that those old days, that's like old Hollywood, the golden days, when I go into a recording booth and there'd be 2 or 3 of us, Those days are over. COVID made sure of that. Maybe there will come an opportunity when Robert and I can get together, which I'd love, because I love him. But that's the way it is now. And it's enough to remember. It's certainly enough. It's all in the writing. And the writing is exquisite. Thank God for the Hageman brothers. Yeah.
Jumping off of that, because that was actually exactly what I was going to ask. Do you
get mad when somebody asks?
No.
Do you guys get mad when somebody steals your question?
We're like, I was going to say, gotta be on our feet.
I'm surprised you don't kind of go around and say, I'm going to say this, I'm going to ask this. You can't.
What would be the fun in that?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So do you get to act with any of the cast at all together, or it's all just
all alone, all over the world? London.
So you don't even
Paris.
have to go into a studio anymore. You just do
I
it from
have to
home,
go.
or you still
I
go
demand
to-
it, and they do too.
Yeah.
The quality of this is so high.
Yeah.
I don't do any of that home stuff. That's for the birds. I mean, I want the exquisite calibration of the engineer in the other room. I want to know that every pitch that I'm striving for, every note, every intention is perfectly recorded. And I just don't believe that in my bathroom with cardboard up on the wall, taped to the window, it's going to have the same effect. I don't believe it. No. I don't like any of this stuff at home. I think we need to go to work. You know what I mean? Go to work.
Yeah.
All right, now I got that out.
So Mike, with Trek Movie,
I've always felt that Janeway's commitment to personal relationships and also the mission are always, it's hard for me to tell which one is stronger than the other. In your search for Chakotay,
That's good.
how much of that is personal, and then is there a bigger mission, or is it just...
Well, that's already very astute of you. Because this is the essence of Janeway. They're inseparable. Her investment is always personal. Even if it's species 8472, whom she loathed. In the end, she sort of felt sorry for them. Look at 7 of 9. How deeply personal that became. In a short order. So if I'm trying to find Chakotay, you better believe that the investment is going to be huge. And the payoff is going to be, after many bumps and many twists and many very difficult turns. Rewarding, I hope, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to hold him up every time.
With this performance kind of sounding kind of lonely to be doing it by yourself, when you're coming from shows where you're acting with tons of people, and your soap opera days, which are very heavy
But
compared
that was 100 years ago.
But
How can that even be remembered? You know, I was only on that thing for a year and a half.
But those are very intense days, weren't they? Like, for soap operas is an intense form. How do you approach voice acting compared to how you would approach something like that? Especially now that you're doing it by yourself.
It's much easier.
Is it?
Oh, it's much, much easier. And it's very freeing, very liberating. And I'm collaborating with Kevin and Dan Hagen, who are not only genius level creators and writers, but they're so kind. They're such decent men that when I'm working with them, I just feel that I can do anything and that we're in it together. And I've seldom felt this level of collaboration. Because in live action, it's very intense, you know. Even Orange is the New Black, where there was a lot of stuff going on. It was hit your mark, cut, print, moving on. You get a take, maybe get 2 takes, most 2 takes. Here we work, we play, can I get another one? I'd like to try this. They never say no. And they always say, try this then, let's go here. And it just makes it a great, you know,
So
session.
it could be better being it's just you on one-on-one pretty much with the team.
It's me with those guys on
Yeah.
Zoom, and it's fine. I'm living within the confines of my own imagination. What's wrong with that?
That's
my
awesome.
job anyway. Usually the audience is there to enhance it in some way or another, and on the sound stage, the camera acts as that. But I have to use my own judgment, my own mind, and for some reason, it's just, it's very confidence instilling. It's very relaxed. I mean, I can really feel like I can go anywhere, you know?
I love that.
When you walk on a stage in front of 1,500 people, which I've done a lot in my life, there's a nervousness that constricts the diaphragm so that even if you're playing Clytemnestra, it can sound like that, you know what I mean? In the sound booth, there's nobody there. So I'm relaxed, and it's flowing through my vocal cords, the larynx is free, the jaw is relaxed, and I can go up, I can go down, I can go over, and emotion comes very, very easily.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on being the character that's meant to help introduce a new generation of fans to the Star Trek universe?
But of course. Who else could it be? She's a great choice. They were smart. Alex Kurtzman was smart to ask me. Because I think he understood something that even I could not see, but which is why he's the visionary now and has assumed the mantle of all the franchise. I think he knew that the mother would say to the child, the 5-year-old child, we're going to watch Star Trek Prodigy and I'm going to tell you who that person is. The child's going to understand it as hologram Janeway, but the mother is going to support it with her knowledge of Captain Janeway. So the whole thing is just, I think that was the intention, to make it a cross-generational, passionate conversation. And that would be an extraordinary accomplishment, won't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems over the years, every time a new Star Trek property is introduced, there's always an initial backlash. It's not going to work. We like the original, but this one has already been picked up for several seasons. What do you credit the success of Prodigy to?
The philosophy. We're living in very strange times. When watching the news, I'm sure you are. I mean, this is the first time since the Cold War that the president has said, we're really in peril here, right? The whole thing could go up. I sat at a dinner party in Prague last week next to a renowned Czech physicist. And you know what he said to me? Any moment, and it will happen. I said, oh no, you had too much whiskey. He said, I haven't had enough, and neither have you. So what was your question?
At this point, the answer is all that matters.
You heard whiskey. I heard whiskey. So.
Thank you.
So you embody Janeway, you know, this long before this. Do you feel like there's anything with the character, like you mentioned it was collaborative, is there anything with the character that, you know, you kind of tweaked, or maybe it wasn't quite there initially with Prodigy, that, you know, you said, no, she needs to be this way, or she needs to be this way. Like, is there anything that you brought besides, you know, to the...
Of course. I mean, and when I say the Hagen was completely collaborative, they know that I created Catherine Janeway, so they're not going to tell me how to bring this hologram to life. But I think after I finished tweaking the animatics for physical being, and I did play a big part of that, the humor, as I said to you earlier, a little bit of, not softness, not tenderness, but empathy. This hologram has empathy for these kids. I mean, they're all in trouble, especially Doll, who has suffered arguably more than all of them put together. And so hologram Janeway is going to have to really exercise her diplomacy and her wisdom when it comes to dealing with a guy like Doll, who is so sure he's going to die that he does everything to, you know, upend it. And so it's a very good, again, it's the personal investment. But it has to be always grounded in the fact that I'm there to teach them Starfleet skills. The Prime Directive. Take each other's hand.
Time for one more question.
And let's get going. You can't do this alone. If only we knew that as a species, but we don't know it, do we? We cannot do this alone. One more question.
All right. So Janeway has experience dealing with an evolving holographic program, but we've never seen her interact with an evolving version of herself as a hologram, What's the dynamic going to be like when the two Janeways kind of start really interacting?
What do you think?
I think initially a little bit rough, given they're right now on seemingly opposite purposes.
Well, we'll see. But wouldn't you say, Vice Admiral Janeway has matured deep and she's very seasoned at this stage of the game. She would be slightly dismissive of a hologram, wouldn't she? Until that hologram convinces her that it should be otherwise. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do I have to shake your hand?
Yes, of course.
I just want to shake every captain's hand. So.
All right.
Thank you so